This is the second video of the Word Office 2007 and 2010 that I'm doing. In the previous video, I did the formatting and alignment and things like that, and I was trying to show you at the end about inserting clip art. And so what I did is I clicked here. I need to make sure my cursor is in the right place, and I went to insert clip art. Now what happened is earlier I was in the draft mode. So in the view, I go to draft and I tried to insert a clip art. So I go to insert tab, clip art, and I had hit go and I see a list of clip art here. So if I say I want this thing, so I click it. Now what happened is the picture is added, but I did not see it. And what I found is that I need to be in the normal view. So on the view, there is the print layout view. So when I'm in the print layout view, I see the picture. So this was really strange. I had not paid attention to this. So I'm just going to delete this and do it again in the print layout view. So I just click on the picture. It's already highlighted. I hit delete on the keyboard and it removes it. I'm going to close this window. So say my cursor is up here. Insert clip art, and I hit go and I see a whole list of pictures here. So whatever I want, I can just click on it and it adds the picture to the page. I'm just going to close this. Now the thing you need to look for is all the way to the top. There is the picture tools with the word format. So this is where you can make all the changes. These ribbons are all associated for the picture. The first thing I would like to do is wrap text. So right here I can say, you know what, either through or I can make it tight. Either way I can make it through. Now as I move it, you see the words move around it, and even if I get close to it, it's not affected by it. I can even choose the wrap text behind text. So now when I move it on top of the text, the words are sitting on top of the picture. So there are multiple ways to wrap it. And they've added some interesting features. The first thing you can do, like with corrections, is you can change the brightness. And you see as I point to the brightness, the picture is starting to change. So this is a really nice feature that you see what it will do if you click on it. So you don't have to click it. So if I just click outside, nothing's changed. Color, I can choose to change the colors in the background and things like that right away. Now some of these features may not be available in 2007, but you'll see some similar features in it. Now if I click outside, that picture is no more highlighted, and also I don't see the option where it says on the top picture tools. When I click on it, the picture tools come up. You can also have the picture style here, like I can choose to have it a border around it, make it circular, and there are many different options. You see as I'm pointing to it, things are starting to change on the picture. So some nice features in there. So that is clip art. Now I can also insert from the insert tab a picture, which is I want to insert a picture that I have in my library in my computer. So if I click on it, it will ask me, alright, where is the picture? So I'll try to find something. I'll just go to the sample pictures and say I just picked this desert. Double click. I've added it. Now I can resize the picture. It's always a good thing to do it diagonally. So I just go to the corner, look for the arrow, left click and hold it, and I can move it inside. I'm just making it smaller. By doing it diagonally, you maintain the proportion. So I've just made the picture small. I can do the same thing with text wrap through. So now I can move it anywhere I want. Before, you would not be able to do it. Okay. Now for the color options, I can make it grayscale. There are a lot of different options that they have here that I can choose. And there are a lot of other options that you can look at and see what they do. And there's a whole bunch of things that you can look at and play with and work with it. And if I wanted to delete it, I just click on the delete button on the keyboard and it is gone. So it's all under the insert picture. We also looked at the ClipArt. Now the same way, if I wanted, I could insert a word art. I can click here and I can choose. Now in 2007 you will see some different options here. In this one they've got some different ones. I can click on it and I can type whatever I want. Can put some whatever background on it if I want it. Align text. Can make some changes to that. Text direction. So many different options to work in that. Shape effects. Reflection. So you'll find that there is a whole bunch of new things that they've added here which wasn't available before. Text effects. If I don't want it, just hit delete on the keyboard and it is gone. So insert word art. In 2007 it's a little different because they allow you to pick different designs and different shapes right away. You can also insert chart. I'm not gonna worry about that, but you could do that if you wanted to. I can insert a table and I can choose how many rows or columns I want, and it's added. And now when I add a table, there is the table tool here, and I can choose what kind of a design do I want. They have different designs that they've created, so you don't have to do anything. They are ready-made, so you don't need to do anything, and you can start typing whatever you want. Okay. You can hit undo to remove that. I can look at the print preview either from there or from file. That's one change here. In the 2007, the print options, they'll give you print preview right away. I think up here they've removed that option from here, so you'll have to go to print preview from here, or maybe it's under view one page. Or you can just click on print preview here. You see what your printout would look like, and you can hit escape on the keyboard to close out of that. So that's print preview. There's also the page layout option. In the page layout you can change the margins right away, orientation, whether you want the paper to be portrait or landscape, or you can even do custom margins. And this window is what it used to look like in 2003. So I can change the top margin, bottom margin, left, right. So I can use the arrows to change the margins, and also portrait landscape, which is also available from this button right here, page setup. And I'm just gonna type something. If I have these 4 points and I wanted to make like a column out of it, 2 columns instead of just 1 column, I highlight it, look for the columns, and I choose 2. Now it automatically splits it up into 2 columns. I can even make it 3 if I wanted to. 2. Go back, make it 1. So it's always a good thing to just go and finish up everything you're doing before you do the columns. So this is in the page layout option for page setup, where you can do some of these things. There's also the option to do page color. Applies to the whole thing. From what I understand, this will not be printed when you print it. It's good that it doesn't, otherwise you will waste a lot of ink. It's better if you needed to print something on a color paper, get a color paper. I can also go to fill effects, texture, and they've got these different textures that I can apply. But if you email this to somebody, they will see this. I can also add page border, and I can choose to have different size of the length, thickness of the line. Make a box, click OK. Now I've got a border around it. Page border, which is under the page layout tab. I can also choose what's called art. So there's a whole lots of art that you can use. Many different styles. Okay. You can go back, choose none, and choose none here to remove it. You can also add a watermark, which is under page layout, watermark, to not copy or draft or sample. Now if I go to the print preview, there is the sample watermark. Hit escape to get out of print preview. So under the page layout, you got options for page setup, page background, where you can put page border and page colors. And in the insert tab, you've got the option to insert picture, ClipArt. There are a lot of other options like shapes. I just click here and I can choose any shapes that I want to add. Say this one, click it, I just drag, and it adds the shape. I can also insert special symbols right here at the end. Click it and I can choose, say, the copyright symbol, the C with the circle, or the trademark TM. It's going to increase the zoom so you can see it properly. Right there, TM. So wherever you have your cursor, it will put that symbol, whatever you add. They also have more symbols, where you can choose even more symbols that usually you cannot type on the keyboard. Okay. Within the insert tab, you can also add your headers and footers. Now remember, headers, they go on your top of the margins, or the footers, which are on the bottom margins. Usually cannot type things there just like that. And they've got created some like basic ideas, like you want a header where you have 3 things, 1, 2, 3, just one, or do you want a header like this? So they've got a lot of different types of header already created that you can choose. Say if I choose this one, now I can go ahead and pick a date, put a title there, I can close the header and footer. Just going to move the picture out. Let's look at the print preview. I'm going to zoom in, and that there, September 1 testing header. Escape to get out. So you can insert headers. You can also add page numbers, top of the page, or say I want to put the bottom of the page. I can choose where I want it. So say I pick it like that here. Now there it is on the bottom. Close this, print preview, and right there on the bottom you see the page number 1. Escape to get out of here. Insert. So it's kind of a logical wording. Insert picture, insert clip art, shapes, header and footer, page number. Just want to quickly talk about this button here called the drop cap. If I click here and I say this, you see the A is bigger size than the rest. So you see that a lot in some magazines where they do it like that. So that's just called the drop cap. So I can just remove it by saying none. I can also insert date and time. So if I want to put a date here, so I click here, date and time. I choose the kind of date I want to put, say 31st, August 31st, or maybe I want just like this. Whichever way you feel like, you just click it. Now if you choose this option here for update automatically, what it will do is, it will, every time you open this file, the date will be automatically updated to today's date. So you don't have to go and change it. It's really good, especially with like cover letters and for resumes and things like that, when you have a cover letter, so that you don't make a mistake of sending out a cover letter with a date from 2 months ago. So that's insert from the tab, date and time. So if you want to go over within the page layout, you've got your page setups, your page backgrounds, and in the insert you've got different things that you can insert, like even blank page or a page break and things like that, and also special symbols that you can add to it. Now if I click on this floppy drive button, which stands for saving, so I'm just going to click on it, and now I can choose to save it wherever I want. What I like to do is I always try to create folders so that I'm organized. If you see, I've got a lot of different folders in here. So if I click this new folder button, now there's a new folder and I can type a name. Say I say Word Test, and I double click on it. So now within the documents I have a folder called Word Test, and then I can call it whatever I want, Word Part 2 or whatever I want to call. Now up here where it says Save as Type, if this file you were trying to, like if this was your like cover letter or resume, or you were trying to give this to somebody and you were not sure if they had 2007 or 2010, in the Save as Type I would choose 97 and 2003, because the default format will not be the people who have 2003, they will not be able to open this file if I save it as the default Word document, because what it does is it will put a, it creates it's a new format which is a .docx. Usually all documents have a extension of whatever file name .doc. In 2007 and 2010, by default it creates a file with an extension .docx. And if you're not sure, make sure you save it as a 97 2003, so that everybody will be able to open this file. And it's always a good thing, especially if you're working on a cover letter or resume. You don't want to take a chance. So if I click that, click Save, and it's saying because there are some features which are available in 2010 or 2007 cannot be used in 2003. So I'll just have to hit continue here if I want to save this as 97 2003 format. And on the top there it will say compatibility mode. So it's just kind of saying that you've saved this file as a format for 97 2003. Let's just briefly look at the options where you can make a lot of changes. So under File, there's an Options there. In 2007, you have to click on the Office button, which is right around here. It's a circle, and then you see option on the bottom there called Word Options. But when you click on that, you see the same window like the way it is here. Now if I want it, when I go to the Save option, and in the Save as Files format, I can choose 97 2003, which will make sure that all my files by default will be saved as that format. If you don't need it, don't worry about it, but if you wanted to change it, you can change it there. So anything you want to do, make changes to, major changes to the way Word looks and feels, you have to come to the options where you can do customize ribbons. There's the Save option, proofing where there are some options there, display, and also advanced option. One of the things I would like to point out in the advanced option is a lot of times in the advanced option in the display section, you might find that your measurements, that's your ruler, if it shows up as centimeter, you can just come here and change it to inches, because usually we leave like 1 inch on the top, 1 inch on the bottom, so it's easy to figure out in inches rather than centimeter. Just click OK. So that's under File and Options. This is 2010. In 2007, in the same section there, you see an Office button right here, and on the bottom you'll see the option Word Options, which will give you the same window that we looked at earlier. So I think that's it for this Microsoft Word 2010-2007 almost video, and I'll see if maybe I'll make another video, so keep checking. Maybe in some time I'll make a third video. Thank you for watching.